What is up, everybody? Welcome back to racingnews.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. Welcome back to our last Kentucky Derby prep race preview. Pretty amazing. We do every single Kentucky Derby prep race that there is on this website, and we have for years. And always when we get the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland, I'm like, man, this is it's kind of a little sad, kind of a little bit of relief, a little bit of a mixture of both. So here we are. It's the last one, guys. Very excited to present it to you. Let's get to it. Saturday, April 11th, race number 10 on the card. It's a Lexington Stakes. It's a field of 11 as we round out. Now, here's the deal. It is called the Kentucky Derby prep race, right? It is. Lexington is the last one. It's only worth 20 points to the winner. However, over the years, this has kind of become a little bit more of a prep for the Preakness. This year especially looks to be the same. This looks to be a little bit more like a Preakness prep than it does a Kentucky Derby prep. But that's all right. We are excited either way. We'll talk about this field, and who knows, maybe, if a horse gets really, really lucky and there's a lot of defections, maybe the winner can get in. So I think this is not like the greatest field you've ever seen, but I also think this could be a very fun race. So let's get to talking about it. The number one, Corona de Oro, will be the first horse we talk about. 3 races sprinting to start the career. Maiden special weights at Churchill Downs, Keeneland, and Fairgrounds. 7th, 3rd, and 2nd in those. 2 races back, did finish 2nd behind Noble Affair, a horse that's not too bad. 3 races back, did finish 3rd behind Confessional, who was in this race. Last time out, though, was when this horse really kind of got going. Stretched out to 1 mile and 16th for the first time. Of course, that's today's distance. And won by 4.5 lengths and looked really, really good doing it down at Fairgrounds. So we'll see if he can make it 2 for 2. Horse has a lot of speed. Probably going to go out towards the front here after drawing the rail. We'll see if he can go out there and take him gate to wire. The number 2, Exhibition Only, is next here. This is a horse that broke the maiden 2 races back for maiden claiming 75,000. Went to the Gotham after that, finished 4th, beaten 10 lengths there. Not a huge fan of this one. I think this is an easy throw out. A horse that just seems a little bit of cut below the rest of these horses. Speaking of horses, it might be a little bit of a cut below. The number 3, Decisive Win, is next. 1 race, it came at Santa Anita, finished 4th, beaten 7 lengths, finished behind Crude Velocity, who I think is a serious horse and would maybe be the favorite in this race. Civil Liberty is 2nd, Duke Silver 3rd. Duke Silver came back not to run all that well. Looked like he had the race won, a maiden special weight on Santa Anita Derby Day, and lost it. Decisive Win, like I said, got beat 7 lengths there in that one. I think there's reason for optimism for this horse. It was not a terrible first start, but I just think this is a weird spot to kind of put this horse in. Not for me in this one. I'm going to throw out the number 3, Decisive Win. Number 4 is Enforced Agenda. Way back in the day, January 3rd of this year, I kind of liked Enforced Agenda to win the Jerome. The Jerome was kind of drew a weak field, and Enforced Agenda was coming off a maiden special weight win going 1 mile at Aqueduct and got Flavian Pratt aboard. And yeah, he just didn't run very well. All right. Didn't run all that well. Got 3rd, beaten 5 3/4 of a length. Now going to come back. Obviously had a little bit of an issue coming out of that race, and going to come back here. Javier Castellano jumps aboard, not Flavian Pratt. That's a bad sign in my opinion. Going to go 1 mile and 16th. I think that the horse really probably wants to do that, but needs to bounce back. I am curious to see how he runs. I'm not exactly thrilled, run into the window to play him here. I am very curious to see how he comes back in this one. Let's keep going to the number 5, Mr. T. Mr. T, celebrating the fact that Horseshoe Indianapolis is going to be back open this week. This Indiana bred, though, is going to come to Keeneland and try to run. 3 straight victories down, or up, I should say, in Horseshoe Indianapolis against Indiana bred company. This blowout victories. Speed numbers didn't come back very fast. They rarely do in state bred races over at Horseshoe Indianapolis. So, look, I think it's a big proving ground. If he doesn't run well, you just take him, up the road a little bit and try those Indiana breds and probably just fine. So kind of an outsider to me, but Mr. T, glad to see him here. I always like the state breds trying to take on, bigger horses, and who knows, maybe he'll get out in front and try to take him gate to wire and take him a long way. The number 6 is Ramblin'. Ramblin' coming off a 5th place effort on the turf last time out in the Black Gold Stakes at Fairgrounds. 2 races back, did break the maiden in a maiden claiming 50,000 at Fairgrounds. 3 races back was actually claimed out of a maiden claiming race for 30,000 at Fairgrounds. Been running all on the turf. Now we're going to try the dirt. This seems like the longest shot on the board for me. Not a lot of interest. This one I'm fascinated to see. Very, very excited to see. The Hell We Did, number 7. First of all, I absolutely love the name, The Hell We Did. Obviously a horse that I love the owners, right? They got to be, I don't know what the word would be, just fun. Let's say that. It's fun to be around. This is a horse broke the maiden at Remington Park in a maiden special weight. Looked pretty good doing it. Went to the Zia Park Juvenile next. Got second, beaten 3 3 3/4 lengths. Well, not too bad. Not too bad. Third race, came back off of a long layoff from November to March, 6 furlongs, allowance race at Sunland, won by 13 lengths. That was very impressive. Now, you might be thinking, why is he like this Sunland horse? This is the brother of Senior Buscador, at least half brother, Rose's Desert, the same dam, obviously, that produced Senior Buscador, one of my favorite horses ever. Also, the same owners as Senior Buscador as well, and same trainer, Todd Finchner, as well. Luis Saez gets aboard this time. Very excited to see him aboard in this spot. I think this horse has a big chance. I like him. I think he's got talent. This horse is by Authentic, like I said, and the half to Senior Buscador. I'm pretty excited about him. I'm excited that he's here. Popped a 92 Beyer speed figure in that last race. We'll see how legit that is. The Hell We Did, man. Rooting for that horse for sure. The number 8 is Trendsetter. He comes in here next off of a third place effort last time out. In the Rushaway, 2 races back, 4th in a stakes race at Laurel, 3 races back, 2nd in another stakes race there at Turfway Park. Yeah, just not for me. A little bit low on the speed figures for me. This horse ran off the screen last time out. Talking about the number 9 is Zoom. Zoom debuted at Gulfstream Park, set the pace and faded badly. Faded like something may have happened to him kind of badly. Last time out, went over to Colonial and stretched out to a mile and won by 19 1/4 and looked very, very good doing it. Just extremely impressive. Flavian Pratt had the mount then. He has the mount here as well. I think number 9 is Zoom comes in pretty serious. I think he's a horse that could be a lot of trouble for these runners. The number 10 is Confessional. We've kind of seen him. We've kind of known what he does, and he's just kind of been average since breaking the maiden. He did, break the maiden pretty nicely by 3 lengths. Faced nearly next time out in an allowance race at Gulfstream. Got beat by 5 there. Got beat by 11 3/4, finishing 7th in the Sam F. Davis. Now, the Sam F. Davis did have Renegade and the Puma, 2 really good horses, but still, Confessional was not competitive. He ran better last time out in the Virginia Derby. He got 3rd, beaten 4 1/4. Incredible and grittiness finished ahead of him. He's just a weird horse, Confessional. He kind of just runs in spots. He's kind of here, there, and everywhere. I don't know. I don't have a ton of interest in him here in this spot, honestly. So he's kind of a toss, or not a toss for me, but he's a toss for me as far as playing on top. I'm not gonna use him on top. And then finally, the number 11, I did. This horse, once upon a time, was getting some love in the Street Sense Stakes. It was bet down to 6-1 that day. Got 4th, beaten 4 lengths there. Went to the Rimson where he got beat 13 1/4, finishing 7th. Tried Turfway 2 races back, got beat 19 lengths, finishing 7th. And then last time out of Colonial got beat a neck in an allowance race. Not really for me here. Going to take a pass on I did. He needs to improve like most of them in this race. All right, that is the field of 11. I'm going to go number 9 is Zoom in first. Number 7, The Hell We Did in second. I'll go number 10, Confessional in third. And I'll take number 1, Corona de Oro in fourth. So that is 9, 7, 10, 1. 9, 7, 10, 1. I think Azum going to run really well here. I'm excited to see what he does. I think he's got a bigger upside than the other Brad Cox horse, Confessional. And, with The Hell We Did, I thought about him for a long time, putting him on top. But ultimately, just kind of, it's like, man, let's see if that Sunland number can hold up. I do think if Azum or The Hell We Did kind of wins impressively, they may be Preakness contenders. You just don't know how that Preakness is going to shape up. A lot of those Derby runners, even the Derby winners these days, don't come back to run in the Preakness, and so it makes for a very interesting race. So once again, anyway, 9, 7, 10, 1. 9, 7, 10, 1. All right, guys, thanks everybody for listening to this video. Hit that like button if you liked it. Subscribe if you really like it. Want to get alert every time we do videos like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Keeneland on Saturday.